Vitruvius wrote that the first step in architecture is to find a healthy site. Health is achieved through the abundance of resources. According to Bjork Ingels, architects need to become designers of ecosystems and channel the flow of people and resources. For my thesis, information is the primary resource. And where do we get our information in this day and age? The internet. This is a map indicating the locations of every internet exchange hub in the United States. The internet, which is often perceived as infinite and formless, actually has physical aspects which define it. It's much like traveling by airplane. There are specific exchange hubs where you get redirected to where the digital information you're seeking is being broadcasted. For the system as a whole, these areas are vital. For internet users, it represents the locations with the fastest bandwidth and most resilient connection to the World Wide Web. With exponential growth of the internet infrastructure and internet-related activities, this contemporary condition of life means quite simply that the flow of information is most dense in these locations. According to the telecom mapping company Telegeography, the greatest concentrations of internet exchange hubs are located in San Jose, Los Angeles, and New York. Beginning with New York, we see that 15 internet exchanges provide information hotspots and connect North America to a handful of countries in Europe and South America. LA has 12 internet exchanges and connects to a dozen Asian and Pacific Island countries. San Jose has one more internet exchange hub than LA, but has no international connections. What we've triggered here is a kind of Darwinistic approach to site selection. Having failed to embody significant global presence, the elimination of San Jose leaves us with New York and Los Angeles to compete in a survival of the fittest showdown. Taking a closer look at the two remaining options and considering the most direct flow of information, we see that LA connects to more than double the population of internet users that New York does. But if we examine the populations of New York and Los Angeles in more detail, we see that internet users make a larger percentage of the overall populations that are directly connected to New York. This means that New York is connected to areas where the infrastructure and culture that support the internet is the greatest. Now, if we take a look at the flow of people, we can take the data from the airports that service LA and New York. We see that New York has greater traffic of people per year than LA. The area which is affected most by the internet and the location which will have more influence on the global internet culture is New York City. Now the question is, where exactly in New York? After identifying global hubs for the flow of humans and global hubs for the flow of information, we can cross-examine the two to locate an area of interest. This represents the most valued location with regard to the flow of people and the flow of information. Here, we see that the Dumbo area has access to an incredible amount of infrastructure, and might easily be converted into a nexus for people and information. To attract the public, adjacency to public space would be nice. Building in the Dumbo area could mean linking two areas of public space, the Brooklyn Bridge Park and Cadman Plaza. This link might also provide a green, pedestrian-friendly corridor from downtown Brooklyn to the waterfront. So what kind of buildings exist here? The classifications of the buildings provide some insight. You can see that downtown Brooklyn and Tribeca form a strong axis for commercial business and offices. The area east of Dumbo has large industrial buildings next to condos. The area southwest of Dumbo is primarily 1- and 2-family residential. The building heights of Dumbo and the surrounding area also suggest a multi-use atmosphere. These multiplicities of forces are acting simultaneously on the area, providing a melting pot of diversity similar to open source culture. So what kind of people inhabit the area? If we look at this 2011 sales map, we see that the price of real estate in the Dumbo area is suitable for the middle class, the type of demographic that makes up grassroots movements like open source and DIY learning. We also see that there's higher interest near Dumbo than in adjacent neighborhoods. Brooklyn Bridge Park recently issued a request for design proposals for adaptive reuse of a waterfront warehouse that has sat vacant for 50 years.
In the lot south of the warehouse, half of the buildings have recently been demolished. A beautifully derelict structure sits west of the warehouse and is open to the public. It seems to be used for events and special functions. Further west, under the bridge, there's an open hardscape lot that doesn't really seem to serve much of a function. My primary site is the warehouse, but if the program suggests a larger footprint, then I may decide to use these spaces as well. These maps don't do justice to the urban fabric that surrounds the site, so this should give you some idea of the three-dimensionality of the area. Here's some solar data. The site is around 41 degrees latitude, summer sun, winter sun, warm side, cool side, the area in shadow and the area in light. We have wind data. The winter wind comes over the East River from the northwest. The summer wind comes out of the south. The sound is a big part of this site. In order from ambient to loud, we have waves rolling onto sand, people recreating in the park, cars on the Brooklyn Bridge, boats and ships on the East River, trains periodically screaming down the Manhattan Bridge, and this gives us a logic for the location of any open-air spaces I might design. Accessibility notes, vehicular access to the site, walking to the site. These are notes on the heights and topography of the site. You can see that there's dynamism on the z-axis unique to this site. Views of the site and views looking out from the site. A diagram of the site geometry and the urban fabric.